What's up guys, Tihus here with a Phantom Knight deck profile. If you remember a couple of weeks ago I made a video discussing the archetype and I've been testing them for a couple of weeks on DN and basically have a basis of how to build a deck really, or how I built a deck that works basically. So let's go over it. First we've got 3 Armageddon Knight for dumping the Phantom Knights from the deck. They all have graveyard effects, so it's really useful for setting it up. So we run 3 of him. And then we run 3 of every one of the main deck Phantom Knights except for Crack Helm, because Crack Helm is useless. I'll skim all the effects because I went over them in the video in detail. If you want to check out the effects in full, I'll leave the video in the description below. But yeah, we got 3 Fragile Armor for moving through your deck quicker, gets you draw cards and set up other Phantom Knights. Dusty Row for searching your Phantom Knights from the deck. Silent Boots for your Exceeds plays, because it special summons itself, and for searching your Phantom spells and traps. And Rugged Glove for making your Exceeds monsters into beaters, as well as setting up Phantom Knights from your deck. So that's them. Then we have 3 Kagemusha Knight. Kagemusha Knight is useful for your Exceeds plays as well, because you can normal summon a Phantom Knight, special summon Kagemusha Knight, go into rank 3 and then do whatever from there. You could use other level 3 special summoning things like Spell Striker or Jump Forward. Anyway, then we got Mathematician, again for dumping a Phantom Knight from the deck, useful for setting up your plays. Rotor, because all of them are warriors, and so you can search out the one you need. Shame it got limited in the last ban list, but Necros made it necessary, so there you go. Raigeki for field clearance. Foolish, again for getting your Phantom Knight's graveyard effects. Burial from a different dimension, useful for late game plays. Normally you'll end up with, it's really easy to get like loads of Phantom Knights banished, so it allows you to make comeback plays later on in the game, and it's really useful for that. That's why I also run 2 Miracle Dig. Harder to set up for, so it's a bit of a dead draw more often, but you do get banished monsters really quickly, so it's not that much of a problem. And again, useful for late game players who try and grind someone out. Then we have the Phantom Knights of Shadow Veil. It's basically like Rainbow Karibo from the grave, and an attack booster of 300, which is not much, but it's useful for blocking an attack from the grave, which is always nice. Phantom Fogblade, 3 of them. It's a searchable Fiendish Chain that also acts as a monster reborn from grave, so obvious at 3. Phantom Wing, small amount of attack boost, protects from destruction, and also a monster reborn from grave. Same with Phantom Sword. 3 Cow Cut, banishes your opponent's monsters whilst setting up your Phantom spells and traps and your Phantom Knights to grave to get their graveyard effects. Useful for disruption. You might want to use something like Raigeki Break, because Raigeki Break also does spells and traps like pendulums. So I don't know, I'm undecided whether I prefer Karma Cut or Raigeki Break, because Karma Cut banishes stuff, whereas Raigeki Break destroys it, and there's still a lot of stuff that gets their effects when destroyed, so I run a Karma Cut, you can run Raigeki Break. Bottomless Trap Hole, obvious for getting rid of big monsters. Solemn, negates special summons. Compulse, Bounce, punch monsters and vanities, stop their special summons. Onto the extract, we got a Dante. Dante is the best first turn play. If you have to go first, then you can rank 3 into Dante and set up a load of Phantom Knight effects to explode on your opponent next turn, which is really nice. So 1 of him, because you don't go into 1-on-1, so you shouldn't need to. 3 Broken Sword. This is the main Exceeds monster I go into, because I said in the Phantom Knights video before. You can normal summon a Phantom Knight, special summon Silent Boots, go into this, hop an opponent's card, and then go into rank 4. That's Dark. So obvious 3. Levier gets back your banished Phantom Knights for later on in the game. Grand Pulse pops your opponent's spells and traps. Alucard does the same thing, but this is a 2/800 wall, and it can pop face-up spells and traps. Again, pendulums, floodgates, things like that. So that's really good. Alucard pops set cards, so again, gets rid of your opponent's back row a lot of the time, or you can get rid of your opponent's set monsters. Also gets the attack boost from Rugged Gloves if you summon it with Rugged Gloves, so that becomes a 2/800 beat stick, which is really nice. Acid Golem of Destruction. Basic beat stick. If I need to get over something big, I'll just make Acid Golem run over it and go from there. Castell. I can make rank 4s occasionally. If I normal summon Armageddon Knight, dump Fragile Armor, and I have a Phantom spell or trap in the graveyard, I can just special summon back the Fragile Armor, go into Castell and spin whatever I need to. So that's useful. Number 86. This is what I normally summon off Broken Sword, because if I can summon it with 3 materials, I get to be unaffected by any effect and not be able to destroy by battle, and 3000 attack. It's just a really good boss monster, basically, because you just get rid of, well, you just basically a big beat stick beating down your opponent, which is really cool. So I run 1 of him. Master Key Beetle, another good choice for when you're making post Broken Sword Exceeds, can protect your spells and traps if you need to, while protecting yourself at the same time. And yeah, solid choice. Ken Gorgon. There's a lot of targeting effects at the moment in the game, and you can just redirect them as you please with this. Again, dark for post Broken Sword players. Ouroboros, if I have Fragile Armour in the hand and Broken Sword on the field, I can just swap it out, get this out, and I have a mini Trishula. Not nearly as good as real Trish, but it gets rid of opponents' muscles, it discards stuff in the hand, it gets rid of stuff in their graveyard, so that's nice. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, what the anime suggests I go into. Useful for beating up over stuff, and it's a guaranteed 2,500 damage at least, so good for getting in large amounts of damage, and it becomes a huge beefy beat stick, so that's kind of good. And then Rhapsody in Berserk. Again, it's dark. I can get rid of stuff from my opponent's graveyard if it's going to be useful to them, and then if I have Rugged Gloves as one of the Xyz materials, I can banish it, send a Phantom Sword from my deck to the graveyard, special summon back the Broken Sword, equip this turn, I have a 3,200 attack beat stick, so you know, it's pretty good, and it disrupts my opponent's graveyard, so all good. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of what the deck is. If you like this video, please like, favourite, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.